Hey everybody, this is Rustin with Metalholic Radio, and with us tonight, Jeff Matz of High on Fire. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. How about yourself, man?
Absolutely wonderful. It's always nice to see a Bay Area band exploding. I'm from the Bay Area myself, so, you know, it's a great, great thing.
Right on, man. Cool.
So the new album is out. It's phenomenal. Everybody seems to be giving it rave reviews. Metalholic gave it a 9.5 of 10. I know you've been getting 9s and up just about everywhere. You guys have to be pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked. It's been really well received. And yeah, it's awesome, man. So far, so good.
And, I mean, there's sort of a really twisted story behind this whole thing. I mean, isn't the title something about the mystery of the worm or something like that? Isn't that what it translates to? The Book of the Worm or something?
Yeah, Mysteries of the Worm. Yeah, that's what the title translates to.
I know Mr. Pike there comes up with most of this stuff, the lyrics and everything, but can you tell us a little bit about the concept and what you guys were going with there?
All right, I'll do my best. Like you said, it's kind of Matt's baby. But basically the idea is what if Jesus Christ had a twin brother who died at birth, and his spirit traveled back through time and was reincarnated in China and ended up linking up with a Chinese alchemist named Liao, who created a serum out of the black lotus root, which enabled the person that imbibes it to travel backwards in time and see life through his ancestors' eyes. And it kind of follows Baltazim's journey back through time, and he ends up in various incarnations throughout the years. And the songs are kind of about the situations that he finds himself in.
Holy shit. For those of you out there who are not familiar, Matt Pike, guitarist and vocalist of High on Fire, is also one of the keys to Sleep and the infamous Dope Smoker album. So, coincidence? I think not. Right. Exactly. So, I mean, you guys just really, really took it to another level on this album. You also brought in Kurt Ballou, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly.
Yeah, that's correct.
How did you tap into Kurt to produce this one?
Well, Kurt's kind of, he's definitely been on our radar for a while. We were actually considering using him for the previous album, Snakes for the Divine,
right? But
we ended up going with Greg Fiddleman instead. So it came time to record this album. We were throwing names around, and, we were listening to some records that we liked the sound of, and several of Kurt's were definitely on the list. So it just kind of happened that it worked out. We called him up, and he was available for the time that we had to record. And it's I think it's a really good thing that we went with him, man, because I'm really stoked with the results.
Now, what did he bring to the table in terms of his production and everything that really helped you guys bring this story to life?
I think he just aesthetically, he really kind of knew what we were going for. He definitely brought an element of rawness to the sound that wasn't as present on the previous record. And at the same time, maintaining like clarity and punch, and just it just sounds massive. And that's what we really liked about his stuff to begin with. But he has a lot of really good ideas. He definitely helped us out, kind of finishing up some of these songs. We didn't really have everything completely set in place before we went into the studio, so we went out to his place like about 2 weeks before we started the actual recording process, just to do pre-production and finish up songs. And he definitely helped us out with just an outside ear to kind of like help us do some self-editing, if you will, and just finishing up tunes. Kurt's great, man. I'm just can't say enough good things about the guy. Amazing producer.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys. I think you guys were also looking at maybe Steve Albini or Jack Endino, both great choices as well. You think you might go back with Kurt again for the next album, or you think you might spread your wings a little bit?
Well, we've worked with both Jack and Steve before. So, we definitely know what to expect from those guys for the most part. And the records that we did with those guys are awesome as well. They each have their individual, unique flavor to them. But, for what we're doing right now, I think Kurt's pretty awesome. I wouldn't hesitate to use any of those guys. They're all great in their own rights. But,
right.
But who knows? We'll see what happens when the day comes.
So now we know that Matt is into all sorts of bizarre and deep things. We know very little about you, so tell us a little bit about you, how you came to get into music, maybe that moment of epiphany, whether it was a song, an album, or something, and what you're into outside of music.
Oh, just for myself? How did I get started in music? Well, my dad was a musician, so there were always, instruments around the house, and, he had really good taste in music, so, growing up from a very early age, I can remember being 4 years old and hearing, Black Sabbath and Captain Beefheart and Led Zeppelin, Jethro Tull, just all sorts of, diverse influences. He was really into some good music. So I definitely had that while I was growing up, and he's a bass player as well. And I think I was about maybe 10 or 11 when I picked up one of his basses and started fiddling around, and he showed me how to play a couple of Zeppelin riffs or something, and that was it, man. Once I got started, there was just no turning back. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started playing music. Just kind of learning from records, and then high school I started jamming with other musicians, and started up a band, and I don't know, it's just kind of taken me all over the place through the years, really. Yeah.
Well, so I got to ask, because you had a lot of Sabbath and Zeppelin back there, Geezer or John Paul Jones?
Oh man, it's apples and oranges, man. They're two of my favorite bass players of all time, so it's really hard to pick. But as far as influence, I'd say Butler.
Gotcha. Are there any modern bass players that you really still get something from?
Oh man, there's so many good players out there. It's crazy. One guy that's really good is this guy Joe, who plays in the band Intronaut. He's one of my current favorites. Yeah, it's a really good fretless player, just a monster. There's so many, man. So many. Hard to even think of one in particular.
Nice. So when you guys tell us a little bit about what's going on with the tour this summer, and how much of the new album can fans expect to hear?
Well, we have a relatively short set. I think we only get 25 minutes, but so it's time for about 4 songs there, which will probably all be from the new album. Yeah, short but sweet, man.
They're going to get a deep dose of the Vermis Mysteriis right out the gate. That's nice.
That's right.
Good
stuff. Messing around.
So what else is on the High on Fire table? What don't we know about? What hasn't popped up in the news yet?
Well, we're still trying to figure that out ourselves. Matt's over in Europe with Sloop right now, just finishing out his tour.
Right.
So, we got a little bit of downtime right now. And after the Mayhem tour, not sure exactly what's going to happen. Probably going to do a U.S. headlining club tour after that in September, and talk of possibly Europe as well in November.
I'm trying to remember every year now, and I can't remember if you guys have actually done Mayhem before. Is this your first time or your second time?
This will be our first time on Mayhem.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember, but I'm an old fart. My memory's not what it used to be. So you guys have to be pretty psyched about playing Mayhem this year. That's a pretty great lineup.
Yeah, it's a high-profile festival for sure. And, man, come on. Get to watch Slayer and Motorhead every night. I mean, that right there, it's just there's a lot of great bands for sure. Right. So we're really stoked. And I think, hopefully turn some new people on to what we're doing that have never heard us before.
Have you checked out Dave Lombardo's side project, Film? Have you heard the album yet?
I haven't yet. I've been meaning to check that out.
It's definitely interesting stuff. It's Dave at a whole different level, you know. I figured as a musician you might appreciate it more than most people would, so.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely have to give it a listen.
When you're not rumbling the bass and just crushing skulls and melting faces, what do you do? What are you into outside of music and the band?
Oh, man. What do I do? Oh, lately just kind of enjoying my downtime, man. It's been really nice weather out here, so I've been trying to just spend as much time outside as possible, hiking and just, you know, just hanging out, really.
Nice. So, obviously, you can sit down and talk with Matt for hours about all sorts of strange stuff. What topic or topics are you really passionate or deep into that you could talk about for hours outside of music?
Oh, geez. What do I like? I don't know. I like reading. Let's see.
What type of stuff do you read?
I'm into a lot of sci-fi, like a lot of kind of obscure sci-fi from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, wow.
And, so, you know, it's kind of all over the place like that. And, you know, some fantasy stuff and, you know, some Buddhist texts, things like that. Find religion really interesting. Kind of all over the place, really.
Cool. So is there one classic sci-fi book that people should read for that genre?
Geez, what do I like? An author, A.E. Van Vogt. V-O-G-T. Yeah, he's a really good one. There's a book of his called Slam that I really enjoy. But, yeah, he's got a bunch of great books.
Cool. So before we get out of here, last thoughts, last words, what would you like to say to the fans on the way out the door?
Stay heavy. Come out and see us at Mayhem.
All right. And as we roll out of here, what song off the new album should we close out with?
King of Days.
King of
Play
Days.
that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff Matz of High on Fire, thank you so much for taking the time. And, of course, I'll see you in about a month and a half here when you get here on Mayhem Festival. And we'll talk some more then, brother.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Absolutely. Be safe out on the road and enjoy your downtime.